Hello and welcome to the Nitro RX Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nabila and I am joined, as always, by the incredible Thiemo Albers Daily. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty darn good, thank you, Nabila. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm excited to be back for another episode, which we seem to be having multiple, which is amazing. In between, obviously, the Nitro RX rounds, which is what we're here for, but we are joined today by special guest Ben Maier. How are you feeling about this? Because it's going to be a little bit of a different interview.
Yes, I've never interviewed someone quite so young before, but also someone who could equally easily beat me on a racetrack, and it's just going to be very bizarre. But I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a new experience, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. I mean, juggling literal school, not even high school or anything, just regular school with a racing career at the age of 13. That is some feat. And I'm super excited to see what he has to say and how he's been enjoying himself, because I bet it's a blast being a 13-year-old being able to compete.
It looks like a lot of fun and seems very Bart Simpson in real life, so I'm very much looking forward to the conversation as well.
Shall we get to it?
I think we shall.
Welcome to the podcast, Ben. It's great to have you on. How are you doing today?
Amazing. Just got home from school, so
Glad to hear it. Did you have a good day?
yeah, I had pretty good. It was same old school, just pretty boring.
That's awesome. Well, we know you're super young, so I want to first kick off and get started. And how did you first get involved in motorsports?
When I was really young, like 3 or maybe 2.5, my parents they tell me different ages sometimes, but my dad brought me to a go-kart track, and he asked me if I wanted one of the little kid carts, and I said yeah, and he brought me back like a couple days later, and we just drove it around, and then it just kept evolving from there.
So then, from I say it's kind of gone quite well since then in terms of racing. Just keep going with all of that. And how did you then get involved with Nitro RX?
I met Travis like a couple of years ago. He was gonna build that Pastrana land in Maryland, right near where I live, and I was gonna be like involved in it, and he just invited me to his house, and we drove side by sides around, and then that's how I got to know him, and he invited me out.
Very, very cool there. So obviously you must have been doing something right to get his attention.
No,
No?
wasn't. I just was just asking people about good young racers, or I guess karting people in the area, and I would always show up, so he just messaged me on Instagram, and
I love that. Love that. Just keeps keeping an eye out and then just persistence pays off. And I love that.
yeah.
That's really cool. So obviously you're super young. How has it been racing against drivers or with the drivers that you're currently racing against? You have so much more experience than you. Have you felt there's been any like barriers for you, or it doesn't make any difference?
I don't think it makes any difference, except for the very as soon as when I got into the side by side first time, and I went out for my first session, I was not as fast as them because I was just getting used to the cars, getting how seeing how they drive the tracks, and they've been on those tracks multiple times, so they were up the pace way before I was. But once I got it down, it was no different than racing people my age.
I love that. Just take anyone on, and it's just once the helmet's done, it doesn't matter who's behind it. You'll just happily race them, and like you say, it's just all about who's got a better skill behind the wheel.
Basically.
So I've got to ask as well then, because this was one of the highlights of the season for me already. How did the $1,000 bet with Travis come about, and did he honor it? Because obviously you whooped his ass.
Yeah, he just I was talking about how I was catching him in the race one of the days, and he goes, okay, well, if you say you were catching me, I'll bet you $1,000 that you won't catch me, or you won't out qualifying. And if you beat me, I have to give you $1,000. If you lose to me, then you have to pay me $1 signed and write a 2-paragraph essay on your racing career so far. And then I beat him, but it was also because my spotter was in my ear screaming, all right, we have to pick up the pace, because I was a second off or something like that before I got that fast lap. Then he just was there as my rabbit. He slowed down on the first lap, and it got me right up on him, so I was right there. I had him as a rabbit, and it helped a ton. And then I still ended up giving him. I actually printed a $1,000 bill out and gave it to him, and then I wrote a 2-paragraph essay anyways and gave it to him.
What did he think of that?
He liked it. He was pretty surprised. When I gave it to him, he said, "You weren't supposed to give this to me. You won." Something like that.
Pretty impressive turnaround as well. Like, not just being told that you got to step on it, but the fact that you managed to turn around to 1 second deficit, because that's still a fair amount of time, regardless of whichever form of motorsport you're in. So, just very impressive driving from you there.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna be able to make up all that time. I almost flipped a couple times that lap because I was driving it so hard, but it worked out.
It did indeed.
Did he actually pay you the money?
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So, having been involved in Nitro RX this season, do you have hopes to progress? Would you want to ever race one of the NRX Next cars?
Oh yeah, I think maybe we're gonna do a Nitro or one of the lights cars soon, and the ride that my guy that he helps us with sponsorships and stuff. He's been talking to some of the guys that do the lights cars, and I think there's a ride that I might get.
It'll be pretty exciting then. If you had a chance, would that be your first time getting into one of those cars then, or have you had a little bit of experience there already?
No, the only experience is I played this game on my simulator called Dirt Rally.
Then, aside from Nitro, because you've been quite busy with motorsport generally as well, you just had a late model NASCAR test, and I want to ask, how did that go? And will you be doing any more of that kind of stuff this year?
Yeah, we have a couple races on the schedule. The test went great. I was 2/10 off, pole and qualifying at the last race, which is really good for my first time. So, I feel like once I start getting into the races and see what other people are doing on the track, following them, I'll be able to pick up that 2/10s pretty quick.
You seem pretty kind of natural with this racing so far. Is that something you've noticed yourself, or do you think it's just because you've just always been doing this and it just kind of comes as second nature to you?
Well, the first time I ever got in the go-kart, my dad was really surprised because I was going 45 first day, ever. I was in the car. I was full speed down the straightaway when I was 3. And I think it's a lot of natural talent, but also since I have a lot of experience in a lot of all types of things, dirt, the Nitro Rallycross, dirt road, dirt oval in my sprint car, road pavement oval in the late models and legends cars. So I just have a lot of experience in everything, and it helps a ton.
So it's that old adage of if you have a bit of experience in multiple different categories, that makes for an overall better driver, regardless of then what you're driving in. And it's already being evident in your case.
Yeah, because I have the skill. If it's I've driven my Mazda Miata a ton, and if I a Porsche, I'd be better in the Porsche than if I've never driven a full size car on road course.
It's just mad.
Crazy.
I love it though.
Yeah, that is really cool. So, along with the NASCAR test that you did, as well as obviously Nitro, do you have any other plans for racing in 2023?
Not really 2023. 2024 is looking pretty up because we did that late model test. We had Lauren Rainier out there, which is Chevy's like almost scout. So I think we have some Chevy stuff going for us in 2024, which is amazing. We'll have to be with them. And but no, not 2023. I don't think we have anything.
2024 sounds pretty incredible though, like you say, but it's an awesome opportunity to be getting into to know that so early on in this year as well.
Yeah. The only thing different in 2023 is just the late models, but
I would say it'd be a good challenge for you, and like you say, another string to your bow in a way there. And like you say, you want to go and catch those 2/10 and see if you can go and find them.
Yeah, that'd be, if I can first race out there, hopefully I can find those 2/10 and make it up to the front. I want to be running in the front pretty early.
So what's it been like then? Obviously, you say you just got back from school. So what has it been like balancing racing with the rest of your life? Because like you say, you kind of racing kind of in some ways seems like it's been the primary thing that you do in life, where normally for a kid your age, that it would be the other way around. So what's it been like for you having to work on that?
School's pretty like complicated. We've just had to had a meeting with one of the upper levels of like my county in like the district to give me more days off to go racing. But most of the teachers post stuff online so I can do that work, but some of them do it on paper, so I have to make up stuff when I get back too.
But it's, obviously, I think the racing is what you're more concerned about, I think, as well. But at the same time, you've got to go through the motions. But you still manage to find the time to get everything done, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have really good grades right now, and pretty much all of my assignments are turned in except a few. I have to turn those in.
So we won't say anything about that. Don't worry. We'll keep it all fun with the Nitro stuff, because there's a question that we've always been asking anyone that we chat to on this podcast, drivers especially. Can you describe Nitro RX for us in 3 words?
Fun. That has to be there. Fun. Exciting. And creative.
Creative. We've not had creative yet. I like that.
Those are some good ones. And you know what? You're one of the very few people that have actually managed the 3 words. So that's impressive. I also really love to ask, because I come from a rallying background. I don't know if you've ever done any rallying or have aspirations to do any, but if you could do any rally in the world, go from whatever you want on dirt, I don't mind. Any rally, and then any car, what would they be?
In the rally, I really like the Group E cars for rally. They're just fast, lots of torque. They have good air control. They're just like really cool. And the races, the competition's amazing. Action-packed races. In the road course or the on pavement, I'd probably do. I don't like want to advance into like the F1 world, but it'd be amazing to just drive an F1 car because they have so much downforce, and I feel like you can just roll so much speed through the turns. It'd just be cool.
No, definitely. That would be very cool indeed. And to maybe go around somewhere like Austin or Vegas, maybe, depending on where you could get that done, then be extra cool on the location front.
Oh, yeah.
No, definitely.
It certainly sounds like you have a very promising career ahead of you, and I'm very excited to follow along and see what happens. And we're going to wish you absolute best of luck for the rest of the Nitro series, and fingers crossed we see you in an NRX car or the likes car very soon.
Hopefully. I have a little guest.
I was going to ask about him at some point. Yeah, that was one of the highlights from that round in particular, I got to say. For those of you who aren't watching this on YouTube, he's pulled up the infamous Chucky doll that was sticking out the top of his car. How did that go down at the time? Because that was quite amusing from a fan perspective.
My mom was like all going crazy about like how we need to do something and put something on the car for Halloween. And me and my dad were like, we went out to dinner at like a mall, and me and my dad were sitting in these massage chairs, and my mom and my brother went to go pick something out to put on my car. And then I was like getting food or something, and I came back to my car, and this was just attached to the top of it.
You had no idea at the time how it got there.
No, I knew they were going to put something on the car. It's just I didn't know what. And I didn't think it was going to be a doll. I thought it was going to be like some like Halloween like decoration. Like not a, that's all I can say. Not a doll.
Did it affect weight distribution at all?
No, it's like a pound less, maybe probably like half a pound.
I'll be honest, it's very creepy.
Yeah.
I was impressed it stayed on the car the entire way around, though. That was quite fun.
Yeah. It has a lot of dirt in its mouth and its eyes. Still.
I'm not surprised. That's a perfect way to finish this off, because I don't think anything can top the cameo appearance of the Chucky doll there. So it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you, Ben. And as Nabila was saying, wish you the best of luck for the rest of the Nitro season, and hopefully we get to see you in an NRX car very soon.
That'd be great. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, that was definitely one of our more unique podcast episodes, Nabila, there. And yeah, Chucky aside, Ben's definitely not the usual person we get on here, just because there's no one else in Nitro who's doing it as young as he is, and it's incredibly impressive that he's managed all this stuff already, and that he's just so damn confident, if nothing else. And it's like, yeah, it's natural talent, and I'm only 2/10 off, and I can go and find that. I'm going to go and do this, and it's great to have that certainty, which I guess you only kind of really get from someone his age. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just, if you heard that from drivers maybe more our age, as old as we are, you would kind of you'd think them a little bit cocky or a bit arrogant, but he's also got the results to back all of this up so far. I mean, he got $1,000 off Travis for his troubles for it, and like you say, with the NASCAR as well, just immediately there in that cross discipline. It's just, as much as you're freaked out by Chucky, it's very impressive at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's got a very promising career ahead of him. And I don't necessarily think you always look at people who are so confident as cocky, so long as they've got stuff to back it up. And it's impressive at the age that he is, that he has so much to back himself up already. And if he continues going the way he's going, and focuses and continues, and I hope, honestly, that a lot of that confidence stays with him, because I think that will really build up in his driving as time progresses, and you're just going to see those faster and faster times, and he could very well be unstoppable. And I'm excited to see how he continues on, and I hope he gets the chance in the NRX car, because I really do think he's one of those up-and-coming talents that's one to watch, and I do think you're going to see big things from him in the future in the motorsport arena.
No, definitely. And I think as well that, like you were saying before, you never really have it in the middle. You either have someone with that kind of potential and the talent to back it up, and they will go places, and you don't mind them saying, yeah, of course I can do this. Because on the other flip side of that, you have people who are not quite there, and you know that they might have the driving to back it up, but you need everything if you're going to attract the sponsors and to be able to plan further ahead and everything. And the fact that we're recording this in January 2023, and he's already got 2024 sorted, it's just mad. Incredibly impressive. And obviously it's not all just him by himself doing that. He's got a good network around him. But the fact that they're managing to get that machine so well oiled and trying out an X, Y, and Z already, it's like you say, might very well be unstoppable. Just leave Chucky at home.
Absolutely. I don't think I ever need to see that thing ever again in my life. That was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
And on which note, we're going to let Nabila go so she can have a lie down and just get back to normal there. So we're going to end this episode. And in the meantime, if you want any more from Nabila and I, and Ben as well, we'll put all of the links to our socials and everything else in the description below of this episode. And we will, of course, be back again very soon with another podcast episode. So do keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. So until then, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you again soon.